I think in the US, this inflation's crap, but they're getting away with it.
Yes.
I think if you suddenly have people not able to get their money from the bank, or people start to experience 100% inflation, and you start to see people revolution on the streets, that's when they can't get away with it for much longer.
I think that's right. And I think what that naturally leads into, and probably where you were going, is what's their plan. And we know their plan because they've headlighted it, right? They're going to go CBDCs, and the way they're going to get us to accept that is they're going to go universal basic income. And so no Bitcoiner, no true Bitcoiner is going to want to hold any CBDC. And I mean, it's just digital fiat, right? But if you're starving and you've got no other choice, and they're willing to give you some UBI, and you got to take it in CBDC form, well, guess what? You probably will do it because you want to feed your family. So I mean, it's pretty clear that's kind of what they're aiming for next, and the timing and actions around that, it's hard to tell. The other threat that I see that concerns me greatly, and we haven't seen this narrative a lot, I've seen a little of it, is that eventually it's probably going to develop a narrative around the lines of, you gold and Bitcoin people are messing up our legitimate currency system.
Of course.
And you're evil, and therefore, just as in World War II, you needed to buy government bonds to support the war effort. Boy, if you're playing in gold and playing in Bitcoin, you're being anti-American. In fact, you're being so anti-American that we're going to tax the living shit out of you, right? Or we're going to do choke point, and guess what? You're not going to have any way to get your money into and out of that shit. And so, we're seeing all this, right? I mean, we're going to have the New York Times write completely, fictional articles, about the impact of the mining operations. And so, we can see where they're going with this, right? And it's not good. Having said all of that, we huddle on, and they can say they're going to tax me, but one, they don't know what I have, and two, with 12 words, I can live somewhere else.
Yeah, and but I am starting to. I think a lot more now about how do you fight back against this, and for me, it's just about education and communication.
Well, that's right.
And I'm walking a fine line between education and sounding like a conspiracy theorist. I've talked about this. It's always on my mind. If you try and explain this to them, you say, yeah, look. The government needs to wipe away the debt because there's going to be massive inflation, but they want you to still sell, so they're going to offer you universal basic income, but they're going to do this through a central bank digital currency, which they can use for mass surveillance and stop you from spending. Like, you sound like a nutter.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're coming from normie land.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're coming from Paul Krugman. I mean, Paul Krugman, had tweeted this morning something about how, monetary conspiracy theories. I mean, yeah. Look, we all sound like nutters, but the fact of the matter is we're right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these conspiracy theories have become conspiracy facts. And let's talk about a development that I think is extremely interesting. I'm very excited about it. I haven't done all the work, so I can't, endorse him fully. But I don't know if anyone's paid attention to the fact that Robert Kennedy Jr. Have you followed what he's been saying recently?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, one, he's going to run for president.
I've not followed any of this.
Well, you'll find this interesting. I'll just give you the highlights. He's come out and said basically the CIA killed his uncle. Okay. So he's called bullshit on the Warren Commission story on the JFK assassination. He's hinted that he thinks they were involved in killing his father as well, and they were, from what I've read. He's come out and he said that the quintillionaires have basically printed all this money and made themselves rich, and they're trying to block the exits. Basically, Bitcoin being the best exit with Operation Choke Point. Okay, and then. There was one other point he had made. I'm trying to recall what it was, but those were the major ones that he.
Is he already in Congress?
No.
So
he's a private individual who lives in Los Angeles, but he is next week actually. He's going to declare his bid for the presidency as a Democratic candidate. So he's going to.
He is viable.
Oh yeah, I mean this guy gets it. Okay. Oh, the other one that he's been very strong. He thinks COVID was bullshit, and he thinks the vaccine mandates were bullshit. So here we have a real brave, freedom-fighting, guy who kind of gets our point of view, who has a real national name and platform and some money. I mean, this is like, whoa.
But he's also saying things that will bring Republicans across. He's appealing to Republicans.
Very much. I used to be a Republican. I'm a nothing now because I hate all these parties. But the point is, this is a message that would attract all disaffected, quote unquote conspiracy theory types, because
you found him.
Yeah, I found him.
And Bitcoin. You've seen him mention Bitcoin.
This is like a complete other rabbit hole, but I'm just too curious. So, what's the theory about why the CIA killed his Is it uncle and father?
Yeah, JFK. Oh,
so because I mean, I know the story, but I don't know it very detailed.
this is accepted fact to those of us who have a brain and can do the analysis. I encourage you to read a book by Douglas called JFK and the Unthinkable.
Okay.
It's the best introduction to the murder of JFK. The theory, in brief, the theory is that because JFK was trying to end the Vietnam War, because he had said he wanted to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces for setting him up with the Bay of Pigs, because he was having an affair with a Russian agent, because he had back-channeled to Khrushchev during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the CIA didn't like that, the CIA and Johnson came to the conclusion that he was a threat to U.S. national security, and they murdered him. Using a combination of perhaps the mob, individual contractors and CIA agents, and that Oswald truly was a patsy. He was a CIA guy and was set up in the whole thing. So, and to me, this is indisputable. I mean, I'm an analyst. I read things. This is indisputable fact that our government murdered our president, and that was the beginning of the downfall of the United States in post-World War II.
And his father as well.
Yeah, and his father as well. That one's a little more complicated.
Was he the one who died in the plane crash?
No. Sirhan shot him at a hotel in Los Angeles. But that one's a little more controversial because Sirhan was brainwashed into doing it. And I actually don't think he delivered the kill shot. I think the girl in the polka dot dress delivered the kill shot.
Is this the guy that can't remember doing it?
Yeah. Sirhan.
Have you heard that story?
Yeah.
No.
And get this, Robert J. Kennedy Jr., Sirhan came up for parole, okay? And Robert J. Kennedy Jr. supported it, said we should let this guy out.
Wow.
Right? And Gavin Newsom said, no, we're throwing him back in jail.
Saw an interview with Gavin Newsom the other day. I do not trust that guy.
Oh, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a very bad guy.
Yeah.
But, what would you expect, right? I mean, there are lots of bad guys out there.
do you think he beats Gavin Newsom?
Oh, well, I'm not, yeah, in the primary, I don't know. I don't honestly know. I mean, there's one of the wags on Twitter said, I hope he stays away from Dealey Plaza, right? I mean, this is an incredibly brave move on the part of this guy. It really is.
Because he'll have a big target on his back.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Yeah, this is an incredibly brave move.
There's a lot of tragedy that has befallen that family.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And look, they're not clean as the driven snow. I mean, the father was a bootlegger and stock manipulator and, a lot of other things. I mean, but... Yeah.
Have you found anything about him and Bitcoin?
Yeah, he posted this. I'll put it up here. Let me make it a bit bigger.
So this is on his Twitter.
Yeah.
If you zoom in, okay. The claim now that FedNow is not the first step towards the CBDC would be more easily digestible were we not aware of the Biden administration's steady barrage of hostile broadsides against cryptocurrencies.
I love this. Read this next one.
Between 2008 and 2022, the Fed partnered with a handful of big banks to print $10 trillion, 10 centuries of wealth in 15 years, a bonanza for the bankers.
Banksters.
Oh, for the banksters, yeah. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin give the public an escape route from the splatter zone when this bubble invariably bursts. So the White House is colluding with the banksters to keep us trapped in the bubble of profiteering and control. In his Feb 8 post on the Pirate Wires, Nick Carter, go on, Nick, describes how the White House has organized banksters to participate in sophisticated, widespread crackdown to destroy the crypto industry. Carter describes 15 instances where the Biden administration weaponized the FDIC, OCC, and DOJ to force crypto-friendly banks to close their doors to crypto firms since December 3rd. The recent crackdown on crypto blocks exit ramps removes alternative rails and strengthens the government's control over both the financial and political systems. We should be wary since CBDCs are the ultimate mechanism for social surveillance and control. As Balaji Srinivasan says, the distinction between the FedNow and the CBDC is important from a technical standpoint, but not from a civil liberties standpoint. Balaji compares FedNow to a virus that evolved to evade recognition by changing its sequence without relying on changing its functions. Fuck me.
Right?
That's a presidential candidate.
Is this guy one of us or what?
Holy, they're going to fucking kill him. They're going to kill him.
Well, right. But here's my point. I want to do a little more work on it. I'm not, I've been so disappointed by so many politicians. I'm not 100% ready to say it, but I think there's a chance I'm going to really, and all Bitcoiners should really get behind this guy.
We should try and interview this guy.
We should definitely try and interview him.
I think my guess is he'd take it.
Yeah.
My guess is he would definitely take it.
Where is he?
Los
California.
Angeles. Yeah, no doubt.
We should reach out.
Yes, you should reach out to him.
Who would know
Absolutely.
him? Who would know him?
Absolutely. There's got to be a way.
We'll find a connection somehow.
Yeah, I can think of two ways.
We can figure out a way to.
Nick Carter's probably talking to him.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wonder if he follows Nick. We got to make that one
must.
happen. I'll go to LA
I'm telling you,
immediately.
Peter, if you get an interview with this guy,
Yeah.
what a fucking home run. Seriously. He's also quoted this guy named Chris Hedges, who I went to college with, who is a very, he's one of us. He's not a Bitcoiner per se, but he understands how broken everything is.
Yeah.
And he quotes Hedges a lot. I mean, the thing I love about him is he understands how broken this country is.
What
Right?
pisses me off is you talked earlier about the forefathers. Forget their transgressions for now.
Yeah.
They still fundamentally wanted to build a republic that was fair and couldn't be corrupted.
The written documents of the founding of this country, they're fucking stunning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yet, right now, within Congress, how many people within that group do you say, you're a credible person? I like Cynthia Lummis. Yeah, I think she's great. And there's a few others I like. But how many of them do you think actually right now say, hold on, what we're doing is wrong here. This is terrible. We're elected by the people for the people. Yeah. But how many of them actually give a shit? Like he clearly does.
Very few.
Yeah.
Very few.
And that's terrifying.
Absolutely. But it's show me the incentives, I'll show you the outcome, right? I mean,
Sorry, did you find anything with him talking about presidential or anyone writing about him making a presidential bid?
I mean, he's wearing a T-shirt.
Go to Wikipedia. Google him in Wikipedia.
I think this is probably enough.
What's that? Kennedy for president. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah, no, he's doing it. There's no doubt about that. He's announcing in April in Boston.
Wow.
Yeah, but Google him in Wikipedia and look at the description, right? So we know how they're going to counter this, Peter. Okay? I mean, I think the first line is, he's a well-known conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Wait, I'm on his...
Right. Robert Francis Kennedy Jr. is an American environmental lawyer and author known for promoting anti-vaccine propaganda and conspiracy theories.
Right.
When did they change that?
I don't know.
I'm not sure where you see that, actually.
Sorry?
I don't know where...
Yeah, I think there's a history. Is it towards the bottom? You can see a history of a page.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely find it.
They're going to paint him as being a whack job. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, or as you would say, a nutter.
Yeah, but they're going to struggle to get away with it because of
the name and who he is.
Well, but also everything that's come out regarding vaccines and the lockdown.
The thing. I mean, is it a conspiracy if you're right? I mean, it's the CIA coined that term conspiracy theory as a way of trying to degrade anybody who didn't believe in the narrative on JFK.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Isn't it?
I mean, we don't have anyone like that here in the UK at all.
Yeah.
We have a very weak political class at the moment. At least within the US, whether I agree with them or not, there's a strong political class.
When I saw this, I saw Bitcoin, I thought, boy, there's real hope. I saw this, I thought, because I had a sense that if we all kind of said this message, I mean, look, he was quoting Nick Carter, right?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I had a sense if we spread this message and spread it wide and kept trying to spread it, that eventually the politicians, somebody would hear it. And I saw this and I was like, holy shit, here's a name brand guy who's listening, right? Right? I mean, this is fucking Kennedy, yeah?
I mean, it's just like trying to comprehend it. It's like you always need a hero in these situations.
Well, that's right?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's our Batman.
It's going to take leadership, right? It's going to take leadership. Now, he's got to stay out of Dealey Plaza, right?
They're going to go after him hard.
Oh yeah. Just like they went after Ron Paul. I mean, Ron Paul was a lighter version of this, but he had it right.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget Ron, and Rudy Giuliani up on stage, just totally trying to hammer Ron Paul in a debate. I mean, he treated him so poorly. It was unbelievable how disrespectful they were. And yet Ron was right.